everyone, it's Anitra again, and today I'm here with Heather Marie Speaks, and she is just a woman of many talents, many gifts, and she is here to talk about all that she's involved in and all that she has going on and what's to come with her. Like I said, she's just a woman of many talents. She's an entrepreneur, she's a domestic violence survivor, she's a spokeswoman. What else, Heather? So much.
You know, it's kind of, I tell people that God gives us all different gifts and talents, and he just happened to dump a basket on me. He's given me a lot of different things. I have kind of a balance of managerial and businesswoman aspect, and then I've got a very artsy side of me that likes to be creative and do things. So within the whole plethora, it's speaking, spokeswoman, entrepreneur, like you said. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, so I do a lot of motivational speaking and engagements as a host. But I also like to do things creatively with fashion. I've done modeling, obviously with you, modeling and hosting, and then I also create things here on my farm. I make beeswax candles and goat's milk soap and things that people can help with self-care, because I think it's really important. And my whole platform is to encourage people to be balanced in their mind, body, and soul. So I try to share the things that I've learned to take care of my body so that I can be balanced and help other people be balanced too.
Perfect. I love that. So I don't know what I want to see this, but it's,
I know, they kind of get hidden. Tuck them out on the side.
I always have to, with the light, I always have to adjust my eyes.
Yes.
It's like right there in your face.
Afterwards, I have to adjust too, because my pupils are completely expanded from the light being so bright.
And you know, if someone takes a picture sometimes and they have the flash, it's like,
yeah,
okay, all I see is the white light continuously.
I know.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
That's very cute. Okay, you ready? I want to jump into first because it's just so much. Where should we begin? Since I'm here at your beautiful, cozy home, and it smells so great, guys. I told her as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh my God, it smells so good. And we both just love scent. We were just talking about that. So I think we'll start with that, your cozy home, your farm.
Yeah.
Just tell me about that and what inspired you to do that.
Well, God blessed me with my very first home purchase last summer. And it was definitely a God miracle. I was so thankful that he gave it to me, but I knew that he wanted me to use the home to bless others as well. And so I prayed about it and just kind of saw the land and saw that I had room for a mini farm. And I've always loved animals. Growing up in England in my summers, I'd see farms and see countryside, and I loved it. And so I wanted to kind of encompass that into a European farm, if you will. And I have 2 sheep, I have a goat, I have a pig named Wilbur, I've got ducks and chickens and roosters, and so it's just a mini farm, but they bring me joy, they bring other people joy, they provide for some of the products that I make, which is great. And then I'm able to share those. Throughout COVID, I was able to make blessing bags and packaged fresh farm eggs with some soaps and candles and face scrubs that were made with honey, and just blessed a few people that were struggling, and I just wanted to bring them joy. So it was a blessing to me in return to be able to help other people smile again. And so God's allowed me to use the house to bless other people, and I've been able to host a few guests that needed places to stay. And of course my kids and I, we love it. We've got a pool here, so in the summertime we were using it and having socials and having people over too. So it's been great. It's definitely been great to have a little mini farm.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Now with the products that you make to help others feel better about themselves, do you do that out of your home, or do you have a storefront? Or
yeah, I do it all out of my home, and they're all handmade by me, so that it's cared for and prayed over and blessed before it goes to someone else's hands. I don't make them in large quantities because I don't want to be like a mass production, so I make them in smaller batches, and then when I'm done with that batch, I'll give them out. And actually, I've had a few people ask me, are you making more candles? I'm almost out of my other one, so I am getting ready to make another batch before the holidays because they're great. Gifts and things to be able to have even for yourself. But it's called Queen Bee Cottage Farmhouse, and my products I just promote on my social media platform on Heather Marie Speaks and on Facebook.
Yeah. And I know you spoke about your faith, your strong faith. So just expand on that a little bit. I know some people are struggling, especially right now with COVID and how they're feeling, and they may lose some faith inside of things because things that they're going through.
Yeah.
So just talk about your faith a bit.
Well, I'm only here because of my faith. God has definitely rescued me from many near-death situations. I should not be standing here right now, and because of Him and having a purpose for my life. Faith is hard because you're supposed to believe in what you don't see, and when you see chaos around you, you can very easily question your faith. But when you're grounded in your faith and your belief, and you know that that's part of your balance, to be spiritually grounded and balanced as well. I start my day before I even look around me with just thanking God that I'm still alive, and thanking Him for all the blessings, and starting your day with a grateful and thankful heart, and knowing that His mercies are new every morning, so He's given you another day to live and breathe and make a difference in the world. That's what keeps me going. And so I'm able to, I guess, shine a light, if you will, by asking Him to fill me with His Holy Spirit to be able to shine to other people. And someone asked me the other day, one of my pictures, he said, "What is that glow you've got?" And I said, "That's a Jesus loving girl glow." I was like, that's just a Jesus glow. He's just in me. And He's been my provider. He's been my everything. And going through domestic violence, especially my most recent incident that happened 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, I was strangled. And so I thought, this is it. I'm gonna die right here. And that's the last day that I'm gonna be breathing. And by the grace of God and by my guardian angel, my daughter came in and stopped the whole incident from happening any further. And I was able to be here today to be able to help other people that have struggled with it. And so my platform for domestic violence started in 2009. Unfortunately, there were several domestic violence situations because I kept going back to what was familiar. People so often will be used to dysfunction, and you see successful women all the time that get into abusive relationships, and it's not just weak women, it's the strong women too. And oftentimes the strong women become weak because of the continuation of abusive relationships, whether it's verbal, physical, sexual, financial. There's so many different abusive avenues that they can come out of. And so for me, part of my journey of healing was finding that root of limited thinking that I had that continued to allow me to get into these dysfunctional relationships, which was just thinking that I was damaged. And that damaged thinking, even though it was in the background, kept coming foreground into my relationships, and I would settle for less than I deserved, or the empath in me thought that I could help someone who was struggling that didn't really want help. And it had to be a release of the past and clearing up the clutter, which is something I talk about in my motivational speaking. Clearing out the clutter, getting rid of the limited thinking, creating some new healthy goals and healthy boundaries, and number one, knowing your worth. Something I've had tattooed on my wrist now for a few years, and just saying, do not forget your worth. We're worth so much more than what we settle for so often. And so I love to be able to encourage other women. First and foremost, love yourself, take care of yourself, be okay by yourself. Let God fill the voids for you, because then when the right person comes along, he's just a bonus. He's not somebody that you're codependent on.
Right.
It's not somebody that you have to have. It's somebody that should balance you and should encourage you just as much as you're encouraging them.
Right, and compliment you.
Yes, compliment.
I hear
yes.
some women say, "Oh, well, I'm complete."
Right.
With
Yeah.
a person, with another person.
Yeah.
Well,
You should complete yourself. Yes.
And they compliment you.
Yes. It's
You
all
know,
compliment.
and then I think, oh, that's an issue.
Mhm.
Once I hear that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you survived that. Was it something that, and tell me if I'm overstepping.
No, you're fine.
Um,
I'm very transparent.
okay.
You can see on my Facebook, people are like, "Wow, you're so vulnerable," and I said, "That's me being real."
Yeah.
Whether you see me on social media or in my home, it's the same woman. I'm still going to be very transparent and authentic, because I feel like I don't want to be fake. I don't want to have my mask on. I want people to know that's the same woman I see on her pictures.
Exactly. You're
So,
just raw.
Yeah.
And that makes you more relatable.
Yeah.
So you speak your truth, and someone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's just so transparent and
Yeah.
raw." I'm connecting with that.
Yeah.
So you could save someone
Mhm.
and not even realize it, and that's a gift.
Yeah. Definitely.
So with that, you said that you started things in 2009.
Mhm.
So had you gone through multiple abusive relationships?
Yeah, I have. The joke I say when I get up and speak is I have been married multiple times, but less than Elizabeth Taylor. And it takes a few times for me to get it. I'm just a stubborn woman. But I had gone through situations. I had a very transparent conversation actually with one of my daughters the other day, because they knew that this past one, I had gone through PTSD from it. And post-traumatic stress disorder, people go, well, you're not in the military. Well, Well, no, post-traumatic stress disorder can come from anything that's traumatic that somebody goes through that they weren't expecting. And that was the big key to this one is my most recent ex was struggling with mental illness that was unattended and was hidden as much as he could hide it. And I had no idea. And so this was somebody that was never violent with me. He cheated, he lied. Those were things that I expected, but I never expected violence. And so the day that I had gone into the room actually was the day that he was suicidal. And people that are suicidal will either go in a downward spiral into depression, or they'll go into a fit of rage where they literally lose their mind. And he lost his mind, and I was picked up like a small little twig from a tree from a gorilla and thrown around a room for several minutes before I found myself pinned to the ground and had a hand on me just taking the life out of my breath. I couldn't breathe. I was just in shock. And so when I was explaining to my daughter that the reason I had PTSD with that, and from my previous marriages and relationships that had domestic violence, I had a loaded gun pointed to my head at one point. I had a black eye. I had a tracking device put on my car. I had so many different things that were crazy that happened to me that other people should have been like shocked by, but I wasn't shocked by it because I expected it from those people. They were angry people anyways, and they lost it on a regular. So I expected just dysfunction. It was just something I expected, the violence, which is so sad because it was just normal to me. But this incident I didn't expect, which is why this one, out of all the crazy things that I've gone through, caused me to have PTSD. But through it, unfortunately, I had lost sleep. I'd lost tons of weight. I was stressed. I was anxious. I immediately knew something was wrong because I've never had an issue sleeping before. And so I thought, okay, I have been a professional survivor for the last 42 years, and it's time for me to figure out what is going on, because I don't want to survive anymore. I want to thrive and prosper.
Right.
So I called my counselor, who's counseled with me before, and I met with her, and I said, I'm struggling. Something's wrong. And she was really funny in a way, because she said, I've never seen somebody that is like a true phoenix. You've gone through ashes over and over, and every time you rise stronger every time, but you're like loyal to a fault, but you're also a strong bulldog where you're trying to like help and fix things. Your strength is your weakness, and your weakness is your loyalty. So it was kind of that epiphany moment of, okay, so I'm staying too long. You know, there's the red flags I'm ignoring. So I went through some really self-reflection for a whole year and just did not date. I didn't talk to people about dating. I really wanted to heal me and get healed. And that first and foremost had to come from surrendering really everything to God and saying, create in me a clean heart, renew a right spirit in me, get whatever's wrong in the limited thinking out. And he did. I mean, he really honestly did. The counseling helped, taking care of my body helped, going to the gym, eating, even if I wasn't hungry, so that I could get balanced in my body. My soul through Christ, he healed that and got me balanced. And then the mental health aspect was really talking about my story and sharing it more openly and authentically and transparent to the world, because I didn't know who it could touch, but I knew it would touch someone. And the amount of messages that came in from both men and women, some men that had struggled with being abusive reached out to me and said, wow, it really hit home. And the issues that they struggle with are from years prior, just like mine. I had limited thinking, and it didn't start with just the abusive relationships or marriages. It started from when I was younger. From a child, I was molested, raped as a teenager, so you automatically feel damaged. And that just, snowballed and built up over the years into bad relationships. So when we get to the root of the issue and find out, okay, what is this? Because part of the problem is me. I'm limited thinking in these relationships, thinking they're normal with the dysfunction. That's got to get cut out. And once you get rid of the root, it can't grow anymore.
I think sometimes people don't get to the root, and usually it starts in the childhood.
Yeah.
What trauma happened?
Yeah.
And it's being exacerbated, and you just don't deal with it.
Right.
A lot of people don't. But I'm glad that you took a holistic approach and, mind, body, spirit, like you said, and worked on you.
Yeah.
Took that time to just work on you as well, and
Yeah.
instead of just going to another relationship.
Yeah.
And not focusing on your healing.
Well, and people will do that to fill voids.
Oh,
They'll go
yes.
into another relationship and another relationship.
Yes.
And I probably did over the years too. It's just, that's part of filling that void. People grab for what's familiar, whether it's alcohol, relationships, shopping. People do it. And so my voice is to share that you don't have to live like that. And trauma doesn't have to look as horrible as mine was. Trauma can be an absent parent and feeling abandoned your whole life. And then you're in this, somebody said it in an emotional intelligence class that I went to. He said he was a serial dater. He dated back to back, back to back. He just never took a pause. And like, why do you do that? What's going on? Why can't you be by yourself? And so often it's hard for us to be alone, but I truly have enjoyed my single life. I've really loved it. I tried dating again, and I just have my standards so high now that I recognize red flags quicker, and just saw that things were out of balance and was like, no, this is not going to work, and back to single life I go. And
Me
so,
as well.
yeah.
So I've enjoyed it too, just having that time to myself to reflect.
Yeah.
And my standards are high as well. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, like you said, people need to compliment you, and it doesn't make them a bad person if they
Not at
don't.
all.
It just doesn't make them your person. So,
it's not a good match, it's not a good match.
right. I know. Yes. So,
Well, I'm so glad and that you are on this great journey in your life, and you just look great, you look happy, and that's important. So let's get to the motivational speaking part of that, because you mentioned that as you were telling your story.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that.
So like I said, I started the speaking in 2009, and honestly, I started speaking because I knew it was something I was called to do, but I wasn't ready yet. And so sometimes we do that. Sometimes there's things that we're passionate about and we try it, but we're not quite in that place of fully matured yet to be able to do it. And so I did. I spoke at different things. I spoke at different women's conferences, at different office groups. I've done that. And that's how I got connected with Runway to Life, is I was talking about domestic violence, being a survivor, and talking about mental health so that people can be balanced, and was asked to be one of the models in their show in 2018. And it was 2017. It was I've done the last 3 years of their show, but asked to be a model and asked to give like a little, small little preview of why I wanted to be in their show and why it was important to me. And I had done a video just talking about how depression had run in our family. Mm-hmm. My uncle, unfortunately, had committed suicide when I was in middle school, so I recognized those behaviors. And whenever I started to feel triggered of any kind of depression at all, whether I went through anything, I'm a pretty strong emotional person. I don't cry very often, but it was still something that I would feel kind of linger sometimes. And sometimes there's like, I know especially during COVID, there's like an oppression blanket over the world right now where it's very quick to go into a downward spiral. But when I felt it, I was just quick to recognize it and try to do the things I knew that helped, whether it was talking to a counselor, going to the gym, doing self-care, doing something to get you out of it. And they really liked my video and asked me if I would be their spokesperson. And so the following year, I was their official spokesperson, and you saw my face all over Runway to Life, and I did a lot of speaking and tried to help build their nonprofit's voice, I guess, to the rest of the community in RVA. And then the year after that, they asked me to be on the board as their business operations manager, which I've served for the last year, and just recently had stepped down after that term, and really enjoyed being able to help them with my managerial gifts, to be able to help kind of guide and direct and build business relationships, and help them to be a successful nonprofit. And throughout that, after serving the last year, I've just started to really relaunch Heather Marie Speaks again, to give myself different opportunities to speak at other places and do other things and be a spokeswoman for other opportunities. And through that, the first thing I did is surrender my gifts back up to God and say, how can I use these? Like, these are the things you've given me. What do you want me to do with them? And He's opened doors. Like, it happens. When you surrender things, there's different doors that have opened. There's different opportunities. I'm speaking to a real estate firm, top performers in Century 21 in Virginia Beach in November. I was just reached out to by a Chamber of Commerce in another locality that asked me to possibly be a part of their board. And there's so many other things that have come up through the last really few weeks since the RVA Fashion Week ended. People were like, hey, we want you to speak, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And so I'm excited about some different opportunities that are going to come up, and Heather Marie Speaks will come back to the forefront as just a Jane of all trades that is going to be in a lot of different places, but definitely using my voice.
Perfect. And I know you spoke about Queen Bee just
Yes.
now. So tell us more about Queen Bee.
So one of my best friends, who's also an entrepreneur, she told me that she saw me doing so much more. And even though I've got so many different businesses, if you will, and different gifts that God's given me, I wanted to put them all under one umbrella. And when I got this house, I called it Queen Bee Cottage Farmhouse, and that's why I made the products under that name. And so through that, with Heather Marie Speaks and Queen Bee Cottage Farmhouse, I said, I need to just do a Queen Bee and Company. That's my big umbrella, and underneath that are all my other gifts and talents that kind of blanket off of that. And so Queen Bee and Company got established just a few weeks ago. 2020 has not put me back in a pandemic, it's going forward. And so I'm still continuing to rise up and do things, but that'll be the umbrella company is Queen Bee and Company. So it allows me to do PR for companies if they want me, to go speak, to go do the motivational speaking and encourage people, to do my my crafting with making products for people to help them with their self-care. So it's all under the same idea, but different branches.
So are you going to infuse fashion in there, style in
1,000,000%. This one over here, you really honestly inspired me so much to step out of my comfort zone. Living in Chicago for 5 years, I got so used to being in black and grays. And it's what you did. I started out in the fashion industry with makeup. I was a makeup artist for Versace and loved it, but we're always in black. Makeup artists are always in black.
Yes.
And black looks good on everybody. Let's face it, you look, very chic, but it was time to kind of add some pops of color or patterns. And when we did your show with you and you took these things that I was like, I would have never thought of doing that, to add little accents, has really started to allow me to be brave enough to do that too. And so I'm excited that I'm going to be a part of something new in Richmond that's going to branch out to all of Virginia, but kind of helping as a fashion editor and just bringing different fashion from Hampton Roads, from DC, from Charlottesville, from all kinds of different areas in Virginia, and just bringing kind of a fresh new vibe to Richmond.
That's good.
Yeah. It'll be exciting.
And I'm honored and humbled.
Yes. Well, you did great. We loved having you as a part with us. Everybody collaborated together for our big fashion week, and that was what was so great. It wasn't about competition. It was all collaboration and people coming together to bring all their gifts into one pile and just help people feel encouraged and inspired and be motivated with some of the things that I was able to speak about with mental health and just get really good, healthy tips on everything, fashion, beauty, and mental health. And so you were a huge part of that, and I know that we all really enjoyed seeing your gifts and talents shine too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed it, just presenting it and working with everyone. Like you said, it was totally a collaboration.
Yes.
I was like, when I spoke to the managers at Dillard's, they were like, wow, it's a production. I was like, yes, it's a production.
We do things with excellence.
Yeah, they were very impressed, and I was like, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's your store. We wanted to represent you well.
Yeah.
We wanted to represent Richmond well.
Yes.
And all of our gifts and talents, like you said, to just bring everyone together.
Yeah.
And that felt great.
It really did, and it helped people to be inspired and encouraged, and that's what we did it for.
Well, I'm glad that you're going to infuse that. You look great today. I love the jumpsuit, and I love the animal print.
I can see old me would have just put a neutral something on there and not done any pop of anything, and so I'm like, Anitra's coming. I'm putting on the leopard shoes.
I was like, what am I going to wear? Initially, I was like, we're going to be on the farm.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to wear this. Then I was like, no, I just need to have some color. Of course, I was like, I need to have my earrings because I love accessories.
Yes.
And just kind of thinking outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. And I've been told that I bring to people. Mm-hmm. Like, I would have never have thought to put that together. I just hear that so much. I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I want people to just think a little differently.
And that's what your gifting is to help kind of pull that out of it. And you're going along with the farm vibe. I've got the fancy chic. I tell people I'm half country girl and half city girl, and there's always a pop of red somewhere on my farm.
Yeah. Yes.
So you brought the pop of red too. I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anything else that you want to talk about that you're, dabbling in? You have so much going on.
There's so many things that are still in the works, and I told somebody the other day, I said, I feel kind of like an octopus, and the center of me is always grounded into the first thing I do is asking God, how do I use this? And then my arms are those octopus arms that are in a bunch of different things, but there's a book in the works. I've had some published work before as an author, which has been nice to be able to be featured in some magazines, but this time it's going to be a book, and it's going to have my story in there, but I'm also including some other women's story with me, because it's all about helping each other straighten our crowns and not just trying to be you. It's using your story and your overcoming to help other people overcome as well. So that's kind of in the works. I'm not sure if it's going to be finished before 2020 is over, but it's in the process. And then helping with this magazine is going to be a great, exciting experience too. So, and you'll see me everywhere. I kind of try to be a part of everything as much as I can without wearing myself out, because I definitely take care of myself first. If I start to feel tired, it's like, okay, self-care time. But I function and roll off of multiple tasks. That's how I thrive. Not everybody does, and that's okay, but that's how God made me thrive. So I like to juggle a few things at the same time. So you'll see me around.
Well, I know I will. I mean, it's not like, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
You're going to talk, and that's it. I don't see
Yes.
Heather anymore.
Well, and I'm excited to be able to collaborate with you again, too, because it was great to be able to do that. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but, and I love that you are part of the sisterhood.
Yes.
When you talk about, straighten the crown.
Mm-hmm.
You are there for other women to uplift them and inspire them. A lot of women, they aren't built that way. They're like, oh, I feel like I need to just kind of critique them so that they can shine brighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're going to shine brighter if you uplift them.
Yeah.
And help them along the way. You pull them up.
Yeah.
As you're rising as well.
It's hard, and I think that comes from other people's insecurities sometimes,
Exactly.
which they have to, that's their root issue. And oftentimes I see it too much, that women will encourage someone to shine, and then when they start to shine bright, there's a jealousy that comes up, or they feel threatened. And there's no reason to ever feel threatened or jealous from a friend. You're helping each other. And I have some really amazing friends that have not ever been threatened or jealous, and then I've had, unfortunately, friendships that have, and it's caused us to part ways, because I don't roll like that. So I'm always about helping each other, but I don't ever want to feel like someone's whispering behind my back or not having the best intentions. And it's that time when you feel like you're no longer benefiting from the table or helping them, that you get up from the table and walk away.
Exactly.
So I love that I encourage women to not be that kind of woman, to be the kind of woman that has integrity and that loves to cheer each other on, because it's not about competing, it's about helping each other shine brighter and brighter and brighter, because that's how we all win. And that's how you live the best life.
Exactly. So that sisterhood, like I
Yes.
said, it goes back to that, and I love that about you.
Yeah.
And I could sense that initially when we met.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that, I was like, yeah, I want to, be a part of her circle in a sense.
Yeah.
To be in her world in a sense, because I could tell that. I could feel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, like you said, it's some women who aren't like that. They just want to pull you down or whisper behind your back, and they don't have great intentions.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
No, my heart is too big for that. And like we were just talking even before camera, I love to be able to help people thrive, and I also love to help people feel relaxed and like there's a safe place with me. A lot of times, especially in the years past, I'll have people judge a book by its cover all the time, and they see the outside perspective and they'll immediately cast judgment. Mm-hmm. And I was very shy back before I started doing speaking. If you can believe it or not, I would have never been comfortable talking in front of camera. I was very insecure, and I wore a fake confidence. And so because there was a fake confidence, I was unapproachable. And so one of the reasons I speak more now, and Heather Marie Speaks actually started from me knowing, okay, who is that little girl inside that was insecure? Who was shy? And my name is Heather Marie Van Cleve. Speaks is just what I do. My dad called me Heather Marie. My very close family members, few people out in regular public, I'm known as Heather, and it's fine. Whether you call me Heather Marie or Heather, I am the same person. But I speak more to allow people to know, hey, I'm approachable, and I've gone through a lot of stuff too. I am not perfect. It's the first thing I'll say is I'm far from perfect, but I've learned the hard way how to get through things. And if I can help you get through things too, come on over to the cottage farmhouse and let's hang out in the backyard. Let's sit and have a conversation. And my home is always a welcoming place for people to just come and relax.
Well, I'm glad that you feel that way, and you are that way. To be approachable, are approachable, because sometimes people, they do that.
Yeah.
People make snap judgments just like that. They see you, they see that you're beautiful, well put together, you're stylish, you're chic, and they're like, oh, well, maybe she's this, that, the other, and they don't want to take the time to get to know you.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And it's human nature. I mean, we're if we went by our feelings, we'd be fooled all the time. And I tell people, feelings will fool you, and we're quick to judge. I know natural human nature, you can look at something and cast judgment immediately. Mm-hmm. But I try to catch myself if I'm doing that with anybody else, and say, oh, let me give them a minute. Let me let them show me who they are. And sometimes people will show you who they are, and you have to believe them.
Oh, they will. What's that saying? When someone shows you who you are, Maya Angelou, believe them.
Yes.
But sometimes we don't. We're like, oh, well, maybe they were having a bad day or this or that, the other, we try to make
Yep.
excuses to make ourselves more comfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, nope, that's who they are. They showed you
I
from
know.
the get-go.
And Maya Angelou is one of my favorites because I also got my tattoo Still I Rise from her. She inspired me so much with, struggles that she went through, women and men. We all go through struggles in our life, but the point is you can still get up and rise. Rise from whatever you've gone through. Don't stay there. Get up.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's a great mantra.
Yeah.
Because you have to. If you allow yourself to be stuck in that place,
yeah.
then you're just gonna die pretty much. You're not gonna thrive.
You're not going to
move
thrive.
forward.
Yeah. I want people to thrive and prosper.
Yeah.
It's, again, that's how we all win. So we can all live our best life.
I agree. Well, so much greatness coming from you,
Oh, thank you.
and great things lined up. I'm so happy for you, and you deserve it all.
Oh, thank you.
You really do. I mean, like you said, you've had so many challenges that you've overcome, but you're trying to live your best life, and you are now, and it looks like it. I can see it. It's radiating.
I got that Jesus glow.
You do. So tell our audience how they can reach out to you more.
Yeah, well, I do have a YouTube channel, which is called Heather Marie Speaks. It's been out there for a while. You'll see some older things that I did with singing and speaking to older senior residents. I used to manage as a property manager. I managed senior apartments, and I loved their stories. So I've got a lot of interviews with them, but as we go forward, my YouTube channel is going to have more of what I've kind of been doing in the area anyways, but under my platform this time. And my YouTube is Heather Marie Speaks. My Instagram is Heather Marie_speaks, and Facebook is Heather Marie Speaks as well. So Speaks is just what I do.
That's what she does, and she does it very well.
Thank you.
So follow her, reach out to her. She's a great contact, and if you want her to come and speak to you on matters of life and health and mental health and just how to prosper, please reach out to her. And you know how to reach out to me. Go to my website, NeeChicStyles.com. And until next time, bye.
Thank you.